As you can imagine, that question, what is it that someone can do to become a really effective speaker, is something that I've been asked for, well, many years now. And I always say the same three things. There are three components that I think are necessary in order for somebody to become a really great speaker. The first is they need to have the genuine desire, because if you have genuine desire, you're adding the passion, the heat that's necessary. Remember, heat's what boils the water, water's what cooks the food. Wishing and hoping simply won't cut it. Anything less than the heat, like if it's lukewarm, if it's cold, it's powerless. So bring the heat. If you bring the desire, you bring that passion that you have with you. That's number one. That's part of getting really good at anything. Number two is recognizing that you've got to get good at the fundamentals. I remember years ago reading of an article on Vince Lombardi, the great legendary football coach of the Green Bay Packers. And in this article, it gave the little anecdote about after a game at which the Packers played a particularly bad game. They were all on the bus, all the players, and Lombardi got on and he held up a football and he said, "Gentlemen, this is a football." And one of the players from the back of the bus said, "Hey, wait a minute, coach, I think you better slow down. I think you're going just a little too fast for us." But you see, Lombardi was a stickler for the fundamentals of the game. It's like if you play golf or you play tennis or you play anything. I mean, when your game starts slipping, what is it that you have a tendency to do? You go to see the pro, right? The golf pro, the tennis pro, whomever. And what do? They remind you of the basics, because they know that if you're good at the basics, it's going to help you play the game a whole lot better. So I guess we could take a lesson from Vince Lombardi and get really good at the fundamentals. And the third thing I think that's necessary to get really good at this is to remember that it's the long game that counts. It's not the short game. By that I mean it's going to take some time. It takes time to become a master at just about anything. I'll give you a personal example here. A few years ago, my son, who's all grown up, came to hear me speak. And I think it was the first time he ever heard me speak. And I've been speaking for over 30 years now. But he came to hear me, and afterwards we went back to the house, and we're sitting out on the sun porch, and he said to me, "Mom, I was so proud of you today. I mean, what you did was amazing. It was just excellent." But you know what, Mom? As I was sitting there, I looked around the room at all the people in that room, and I thought to myself, I know something that none of these people know. I know all the hours, all the days, all the weeks, all the years that you have put in to developing speaking mastery. And I think that's just about one of the best lessons that a kid can learn. And hey, Mom, I've learned that from you. And I think I have you to thank for that. So thank you for so much, and thank you for demonstrating it today. And I thought, wow, talk about a message that your child can deliver that you never forget. He may be a grown man, but believe me, that is not a message I'm ever going to forget. So those would be the three things. I would say have the desire, the passion, it brings the heat. Secondly, remember, it's important to get really good at the fundamentals of speaking. And number three, it's the long game that counts. It's sticking with it. It's learning and learning and learning. It's being that lifelong learner, knowing that you can always tweak this, you can tweak that, and with every tweak, you just get that much better. So those would be the three things. Now, if that's something that you're interested in, you can always go to www.learntospeaklikeapro.net/event, and you can find out about a course that I'm going to be offering on August 9th through the 11th. If that looks like something you're interested in, great. If not, at least you get an idea as to what it's about.